Be me, 45, senior DevOps engineer at SaaS company. Making $195,000, keeping infrastructure running smoothly. 19 years doing DevOps, last 7 here at Task Nest. We're based in Boston, near Kendall Square. Project management platform for businesses. Teams use us to track tasks, collaborate, manage workflows. 840,000 users across 180,000 companies. Everything lives in our database, years of project history. October 2024, company brings in new DevOps director. Stephanie, she's 38, came from cloud consulting. Background in cost optimization, FinOps practices. Strong on budget management, less on operational safety. First team meeting, she lays out her vision. Infrastructure costs are 40% above industry benchmarks. Need aggressive optimization to hit profitability targets. Too much redundancy, paying for unused capacity. Listening to this, I get where she's coming from. Startups burn cash on infrastructure all the time. But there's smart optimization and there's reckless cutting. 6 weeks from now, she'll delete our staging environment. Save $180,000 annually on duplicate infrastructure. Engineer will deploy database migration without testing. Migration will have a bug, drop table instead of alter. Wipe out 3 years of production data in 8 seconds. 840,000 users lose everything they've ever created. Company gets sued for $680 million, goes bankrupt. Let me show you how saving money destroyed everything. October 2024, Task Nest infrastructure before Stephanie. DevOps team is 11 people, solid group. Infrastructure engineers, database admins, security specialists. I'm senior DevOps engineer, built most of our deployment pipeline. Seen 3 major scaling events, know what keeps systems alive. Report to DevOps director, that's Stephanie now. Our infrastructure follows standard best practices. 3 environments, development, staging, production. Development is where engineers write code and test locally. Staging is production clone, where we test before deploying. Production is the real thing, where 840K users actually work. This 3-tier setup isn't fancy, it's fundamental. Catch bugs in development, catch integration issues in staging. Only deploy to production after passing both gates. Our staging environment mirrors production exactly. Same database schema, same AWS infrastructure, same code, same configuration. Only difference is anonymized test data instead of real users. Costs us about $180,000 annually to run. Seems expensive until you consider what it prevents. 1 bad production deploy could destroy user data. 1 untested database migration could corrupt everything. Staging catches these disasters before they hit real users. Previous DevOps director, woman named Carol, she was 56, came up through traditional software companies. Her philosophy, test everything twice, deploy once. Under Carol, 7 years without major production incident. Couple close calls, sure, but staging caught them every time. Stephanie spends first 3 weeks auditing infrastructure costs, reviews our AWS bills, database sizes, compute usage. Week 4, calls meeting with DevOps leadership. Me plus 3 other senior engineers. She's got spreadsheets ready, cost breakdown analysis. Our monthly AWS spend is $420,000. Breaking down by environment. Production, $240,000. Staging, $180,000. Staging represents 43% of our infrastructure cost. One of the senior engineers, guy named Felix, he's 43, asks the obvious. Staging prevents production disasters. That's not optional overhead, it's insurance. Stephanie, but how often do staging tests actually catch issues? I pull up metrics. Last 6 months, staging caught 23 deployment issues. Things that would have broken production. Database migrations, API changes, configuration errors. Stephanie, 23 issues out of how many deployments? I check. We deploy about 40 times per month, so 240 deployments. 23 out of 240 is roughly 10% failure rate. Stephanie does the math. $180,000 annually to catch 10% of issues. That's $7,800 per issue prevented. Another senior engineer, woman named Lauren, she's 44. She sees where this is heading. Can't put dollar value on data integrity. One bad production deploy could wipe customer data. That's company ending, not $7,800 problem. Stephanie, how many times has that actually happened? Lauren, never, because staging catches those bugs. Stephanie, so it's theoretical risk, not demonstrated need. I tried different angle. Staging is industry standard. Every SaaS company runs staging. It's DevOps 101. Stephanie, industry standard doesn't mean optimal. Plenty of companies over-engineer for safety. Meeting ends without decisions. But Stephanie's direction is clear. She thinks staging is waste. Later, Felix pulls me aside. She's going to kill staging, isn't she? I nod. Probably. Consulting mindset. Everything's a cost line to optimize. Lauren joins us. We need to escalate this. I agree. Let's document the risks, send to CTO. We spend weekend writing up analysis. Risks of eliminating staging environment. List every disaster scenario staging prevents. Database migrations wiping data. API changes breaking integrations. Configuration errors exposing security vulnerabilities. Send comprehensive document to CTO. Guy named Richard, he's 48. Monday morning, Richard calls meeting. Him, Stephanie, me, Felix, Lauren. Richard, got your risk analysis? Appreciate the thoroughness. Asks Stephanie, what's your response to these concerns? Stephanie, these are edge cases, low probability events. We can mitigate through better testing practices. I push back. Staging is our testing practice. Without it, how do we test database migrations safely? Stephanie, engineers can test migrations locally in development. Felix, development doesn't have production-scale data. Some bugs only appear with millions of rows. Stephanie, we'll implement more comprehensive unit tests. Lauren, unit tests don't catch infrastructure issues. Need actual environment to test deployments. Richard listens to both sides. Makes his call. I'm concerned about the risks, but I also see the cost pressure. Stephanie, can you propose a middle ground? Stephanie thinks, what if we keep minimal staging? Scale it down, reduce database size, fewer instances. Cut cost by 60% while maintaining testing capability. That's actually reasonable compromise. I nod. Scaled down staging still lets us test safely. Richard approves. Do that, optimize, but don't eliminate. Early November, Stephanie presents scaling plan. Reduce staging database from 2 terabytes to 200 gigabytes. Use smaller EC2 instances, less redundancy. Should cut staging costs from $180,000 to $70,000. I review the plan. It's workable. Smaller database means slower tests, but still functional. We begin implementation, shutting down excess capacity. November 15th, I'm reviewing AWS console. Notice something wrong. Staging environment isn't just scaled down. It's completely gone. All instances terminated, database deleted. I check with Stephanie immediately. Staging environment is deleted, not scaled. Stephanie, I reconsidered scaling down didn't make sense. Still costs $70,000 for partial functionality. Better to eliminate entirely, rely on development testing. I'm shocked. Richard approved scaling, not elimination. Stephanie, I have authority over infrastructure decisions. Made executive call based on cost benefit. I escalate to Richard right away. Stephanie deleted staging despite your decision. Richard calls emergency meeting within the hour. Asks Stephanie, why was staging completely removed? Stephanie, optimization doesn't make sense halfway. Either we trust our testing practices or we don't. Richard, we agreed to scale, not eliminate. Stephanie, scaling still wasted money on redundancy. Richard looks frustrated, but doesn't reverse it. What's our testing plan without staging? Stephanie, enhanced development testing plus production monitoring. Deploy smaller changes more frequently. Monitor closely, roll back if issues appear. I object. Monitoring catches problems after users are affected. Staging catches them before. Richard makes weak decision. Let's try it for 1 month. If we see production issues, we restore staging. 1 month, that's all we get to prove staging was necessary. November 16 to 30, first 2 weeks without staging. Engineering team is nervous, deploying more carefully. Smaller changes, more code review, extra caution. Everything goes fine, no incidents. Stephanie sends triumphant email. 2 weeks without staging. 0 production issues, proving new approach works. But we've been lucky, haven't hit complex changes yet. No database migrations, no infrastructure. Updates, just minor feature releases and bug fixes. December 2nd, database team has migration ready. Need to add new column to projects table. Table has 18 million rows, 3 years of user data. This is exactly the type of change staging was for. Database engineer, guy named Connor, he's 37. Writes migration script, tests locally in development. Development database is small, test data only. Migration runs fine there, adds columns successfully. Connor submits deployment for approval. I review the migration script. Something feels off, but I can't pinpoint it. Syntax looks right. Alter table command seems fine. Without staging, can't actually test it safely. I approve with note. Looks good, but can't verify without staging. December 5th, Friday afternoon. Connor schedules migration for that evening. 6 p.m. deploy after business hours, lower user activity. Standard practice for database changes. I'm home, but monitoring Slack, ready to respond. 6:15 p.m., Connor starts the migration. Runs the script against production database. I'm watching metrics dashboard. Database CPU spikes immediately. Connection count drops to 0. Error rate jumps to 100%. Something's very wrong. I call Connor. Migration failing, what's happening? Connor sounds panicked. Script is running, but database locked up. Can't connect to check status. I try to SSH in a database server. Connection times out. Server unresponsive. This is bad. Database is completely frozen. 6:25 p.m. I finally get connection through. Check database logs. My stomach drops reading the last entry. Drop table projects successful. Wait, drop table? Script was supposed to alter table. Add a column. Why did it drop the entire table? I pull up Connor's migration script. Find the bug immediately. 1 character typo. Line should read, alter table projects, add column. Actually reads, drop table projects, add column. Semicolon in wrong place. Commented out the add column. Script dropped the table instead of altering it. 3 years of user data gone. 18 million project records deleted. 840,000 users just lost everything. 6:30 p.m. I call emergency incident bridge. Connor, Felix, Lauren, Stephanie all join. I explain, projects table was dropped. Data is gone. Connor, how is that possible? Script was alter table. I show him the typo. Semicolon placement, syntax error. Turn alter into drop. Connor goes quiet, realizes what happened. Lauren asks critical question. What about backups? I check backup status. Last backup was November 14th, 3 weeks ago, right before staging was deleted. Stephanie changed backup policy when she eliminated staging. Production backups not needed with robust monitoring. Saved $12,000 annually on backup storage. Now we have no way to restore the data. Felix, so 840,000 users just lost 3 years of work. I confirm, yes, projects table is empty. Every task, every project, every workflow gone. Stephanie, can we recover from transaction logs? I check. Transaction log retention is 7 days. This table had 3 years of data. Can't rebuild from 1 week of logs. Connor asks, what if we contact AWS, emergency restore? I explain, AWS doesn't have our data backups. We managed our own backups, which Stephanie discontinued. Everyone's silent, processing the magnitude. 840,000 users, complete data loss, unrecoverable. This is extinction-level event for SaaS company. 7 p.m., CEO joins incident call. Woman named Andrea. She's 52. Founded Task Nest. We explain what happened. Typo in migration, drop table. No staging to catch it. No backups to restore. Andrea. All user data is gone? I confirm. 3 years of projects, tasks, workflows. Completely unrecoverable. Andrea. How many users affected? I check. 840,000 active users across 180,000 companies. Andrea goes silent for a moment. Then, we need to notify users immediately. Stephanie, can we wait until we explore all recovery options? Andrea, there are no recovery options. You just said that. Users need to know their data is gone. 7:30 p.m. Andrea drafts emergency notification. Critical data loss incident. All project data created before December 5th has been permanently lost. We sincerely apologize for this catastrophic failure. Email goes to 840,000 users. Twitter post, blog announcement, in-app notification. Within minutes, responses flood in. Users are devastated, angry, panicked. 3 years of work just gone. How is this even possible? We trusted you with our business-critical data. Support ticket queue explodes. 12,000 tickets in first hour. Can't answer them. There's nothing to say. Data is gone. Unrecoverable. We failed completely. December 6th, Saturday morning. News spreads across tech industry. Task Nest loses all user data in catastrophic incident. TechCrunch, Hacker News, Twitter trending. Competitors running ads. Don't trust Task Nest with your data. Switch to competitor with guaranteed backups. Users are mass migrating, canceling subscriptions. Churn rate hits 40% in first 24 hours. 336,000 users deleted accounts immediately. Revenue collapsing in real time. December 8th, first lawsuits filed. Class action on behalf of all affected users. Seeking damages for lost data, business disruption. Each company lost years of project history. Contractual deliverables, client records, institutional knowledge. Lawsuit estimates $680 million in collective damages. Individual companies also suing separately. Architecture firm lost 3 years of building designs. Software consultancy lost all client project documentation. Marketing agency lost every campaign they'd ever run. These are business-ending losses for some companies. December 10th, technical investigation begins. Company hires forensics firm to analyze what happened. They review the incident timeline. Migration script typo cause drop instead of alter. No staging environment to catch the bug. No backups to restore the data. Forensics lead presents to board. This was preventable. Industry standard practices would have avoided this. Board asks, what practices were missing? Forensics, staging environment for pre-production testing. Automated backup retention for disaster recovery. Both were eliminated by DevOps director. Board member, why were they eliminated? Andrea explains, cost optimization initiative. Saved $192,000 annually by removing staging and backups. Board member, and cost the company $680 million in lawsuit exposure. Stephanie tries to defend. No way to predict this specific failure. Forensics lead. The failure mode was entirely predictable. Database migrations are high-risk operations. That's why staging testing is standard practice. December 12th, Stephanie is terminated for cause. Board votes unanimously. Immediate removal. She threatens legal action, claims wrongful termination. Company has documentation of her decisions. Eliminated staging against technical team recommendations. Eliminated backups without board approval. Both decisions directly caused the data loss. Her lawsuit doesn't go anywhere. December 15th, more users leaving. Remaining 504,000 users, 60% of original base. Down to 280,000 by mid-December. Only 33% retention after the incident. Revenue down 67%. Company can't sustain operations. Layoffs begin, 40% of staff eliminated. Engineering team cut from 45 to 27 people. Support team can't keep up with remaining ticket load. January 2025, criminal investigation opens. Massachusetts Attorney General reviewing. Whether data loss constitutes criminal negligence. Computer fraud statutes, reckless endangerment of data. Investigators interview entire DevOps team. I provide complete documentation. My warnings about eliminating staging. Email thread where I objected to removing backups. Timeline showing Stephanie overrode technical objections. Investigator, you've documented these risks clearly. I confirm multiple times in writing. Investigator, and she proceeded anyway? I show the emails. Yes, prioritize cost savings. February 2025, Stephanie arrested. Charges filed. Computer fraud, reckless endangerment. Destruction of computer data through negligence. Each charge carries 5 to 10 years. Released on bail, awaiting trial. March 2025, company financials catastrophic. 840,000 users before incident. 180,000 users remaining now. 78% churn. Rate, unprecedented. Revenue $4.2 million monthly before, $900,000 now. Down 79%, unsustainable burn rate. Class action lawsuit, seeking $680 million. Individual lawsuits, adding another $200 million. Total exposure, nearly $900 million. Company valued at $320 million before incident. Can't possibly pay these damages. April 2025, TaskNest files bankruptcy. Chapter 11, attempting reorganization. Hopes to emerge with reduced liability. Reality, company is dead, just hasn't stopped moving yet. May 2025, bankruptcy court. Trustee reviews company assets and liabilities. Assets, $45 million, mostly AWS infrastructure and IP. Liability, $880M, le suite plus opérationnel dette. Trustee recommends Chapter 7 conversion. Liquidation, not reorganization. Company cannot survive this. June 2025, Stephanie's criminal trial. Prosecution presents timeline. Shows her eliminating staging environment. Shows technical teams written objections. Shows her eliminating backup retention. Shows the data loss that resulted. Defense argues she made business decisions. Trying to optimize costs, common practice. Prosecution shows this wasn't optimization, it was negligence. Ignored industry standards. Overrode expert recommendations. Directly caused 840,000 people to lose their data. Expert witness testifies. Staging and backups are non-negotiable. Any DevOps professional knows this. Eliminating both is reckless beyond comprehension. Jury convicts on all counts. Guilty of computer fraud. Guilty of reckless endangerment. Guilty of negligent destruction of data. August 2025, sentencing hearing. Judge imposes 12 years state prison. $300 fine. Permanent ban from IT infrastructure roles. Judge's statement is scathing. You eliminated critical safeguards to save money. Industry experts warned you this was dangerous. You proceeded anyway. 840,000 people lost 3 years of work. Businesses failed because their data was destroyed. 12 years reflects the magnitude of your negligence. Today, December 2025. 1 year since the data wipe. 14 months since Stephanie was hired. TaskNest no longer exists. Dissolved in bankruptcy. Assets sold for $38 million. Went to creditors, lawsuit plaintiffs. Nobody got made whole. Users lost data, and company folded. Couldn't even get compensation. All 280 employees lost jobs eventually. I found work. DevOps engineers are always in demand. Making $210,000 at different company. One that actually maintains staging and backups. But 280 other people from Task Nest. Support staff, sales, marketing engineers. Many struggled finding new positions. Company failure on their resume raises questions. Stephanie serves time in state prison. 12-year sentence. Eligible for parole in 8. Career in tech permanently over at age 38. Because she deleted staging to save $180,000. Deleted backups to save another $12,000. Total annual savings, $192,000. Cost of those savings, 840,000 users lost all their data. 3 years of work vanished in 8 seconds. $680 million in lawsuit damages. $320 million company value destroyed. 280 jobs eliminated. One person's freedom for 12 years. All to save $192,000 per year. I think about that migration script constantly. Connor's one-character typo. Semicolon in the wrong place. Turned alter table into drop table. In staging, we would have caught it immediately. Run the migration, see the table disappeared. Fix the typo, redeploy, no harm done. That's what staging is for. Catch catastrophic errors before they hit production, before they destroy user data, before they bankrupt companies. But staging was gone, eliminated to cut costs. Backups were gone too, also eliminated for savings. So when the typo slipped through, when drop table executed in production, there was no safety net, no way to recover. Just 18 million rows deleted. 3 years of user data gone. Forever. DevOps director deleted staging environment. Broken deploy wiped 3 years of user data.